Good morning, ladies. Yeah, all these goats gonna be the death of me. So earlier today, I was sitting in my office and you can tell it's beautiful. It's almost as if spring is actually on its way. And I was sitting in my office, beautiful window open, listening to the birds start to sing, letting some of that warmth in, and fear shot right through me. I heard this blood-curdling scream coming from the barn, and I come in here and I got a hussy who's in heat. I got a hussy who's in heat. Hi there, Margie. And there's your lover. Hello, Dreamer. Hello, Tangy. So you guys remember about 2 weeks ago, I put some of my yearlings from last year's kid crop in here. And right off the bat, little Miss Tangy, this beautiful little girl right here, even though Lunar How, Tangy accepted the advances of Mr. Lou right away. And I've been watching. And I've really been wanting Miss Dreamer to come into heat. And there's a special reason I haven't told you guys about yet. And I will have a video very soon explaining why I really want to breed her. But she's not showing me any signs of heat. And then last night, Lou was making goo-goo faces at Margie. And I figured I'm going to go ahead and put her down on the calendar, because odds are she's getting ready to go into heat. And she is got the tail flagging. He's real interested in her. She's not really upset about his advances. So I figure she's getting ready to go into heat. And today I've been looking for a little bit of muck butt. And there's a little bit of muck butt, which means I'm putting her on the calendar for today as being bred. And just holding out on Dreamer. Which, it's kind of funny though. You think about this. Some of you that have been with us long enough know that Dreamer, we couldn't keep her in the fence. She just kept finding ways to get out and to torture the bucks. And as soon as we got a good cold snap, about November, she stopped going into heat. And I figured I'll put her in with a buck, and we'll see if she'll go into heat. Oh, let's see. See what's going on here. You two are flirting birds. But I've noticed everybody else is coming into heat. And I knew that Margie was getting ready to come into heat because I noticed Margie was in heat about 4 to 5 days before I put Lou in here. So I figured I probably just missed her heat. I was hoping maybe she would cycle back in again, but you know, ovulation doesn't really work like that. So she's definitely accepting his advances after being in here at 2 weeks. So Tangy was bred on the first day. 2 weeks later, we have Margie, and unless Dreamer is being super quiet, which is not like Dreamer, she has not yet gone into heat, or she's not been bred yet. But I'm starting to wonder if maybe one of her little escapades getting out and being super friendly with the bucks may have resulted in an accidental breeding through the fence. You little hussy. You little hussy. You little hussy. Oh my. Oh, baby. Oh, hussy. No, she can go. So I may be purchasing my ultrasound machine very soon. You guys saw I did ultrasound all of my little girl, well, most of my girls that I had questions about, and we were able to confirm whether some were open or some were bred. But I'm looking at Dreamer, and she's definitely big enough. But I didn't want her to be bred before this because we show. So I was really hoping, because I love Dreamer's build. I love her depth of body. She's long, she's pretty level, she's got a great brisket to her. She's definitely an improvement. And I was really excited to get her in the show ring and hopefully show her in the beginning part of the show season as a dry yearling, and possibly for my late July and August shows, have her in the ring as a milker and actually milk her under 2 different classes within 1 year. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I have a feeling she might actually have been bred. And I did pull blood on her because I thought for sure I was going to breed her, and I wanted her blood panel test to come back, but I didn't think she was bred already. So I didn't have a pregnancy test run. So I think we'll start to see an ultrasound machine in our near future, just because of these little girls. Yes, my little girl. Lou's being a big old boy, being a big buck. Good girls, good girls. So the really bad thing about Miss Dreamer possibly having had a date through the fence is I don't have an actual calendar date for that. And it's been about 2 years since I've actually done just 30-day breedings like this, leaving them with cycles. But I'm in here enough that I can catch the day, and I'll separate them here after next weekend, because then it'll have been 3 weeks. I'll probably give it to like next Wednesday, just to give it, 3 weeks and some change. And that is Miss Margie yelling like that. What? Are you getting ready to go into heat? Please tell me you're getting ready to go into heat. Oh, Lord. Oh. I'm gonna leave them alone for a little bit. Margie's now a woman. So like I was saying, before Lou proudly showed me what type of a buck he is, I don't have a real date for Dreamer. She did have a date on accidental, which means I also don't know for sure on the daddy if this is true. So hopefully I'll be purchasing an ultrasound machine very soon, so that I can confirm pregnancies, and I should be able to confirm her right away, and it'll help me not have to do blood testing on these other girls. But we are almost done with our breedings for this 2023, I guess. I don't know. So while we're talking about those breedings, we're actually to a point now where we're at 30 days from our first kids. 30 days, which means I actually have to go inside and pull a CDT shot. I'm going to be giving Bonnie and Pinky their CDT shots today. So that will be super duper fun. They always love me when it comes to shot day. But the reason we're going to be giving CDT shots today at 30 days out is so that the doe is going to get her CDT shot, which she needs annually. And in giving it 30 days prior to kidding, the kids in gestation will also benefit from that vaccination, and they won't need to have 2 shots. They'll just need 1 booster anywhere from 5 to 8 weeks after they've been born. So that's why we do that. 1 less stick for the kids, which means they won't feel like they need to hate me every time I walk in. But oh goodness, tweaks. But I'm back to feeding my girls. I'm back to feeding my girls, and I didn't stock up on my grain. So I'm going to be pulling the rest of this out, but we're going to be making a feed trip tomorrow. And I'll talk to you guys then a little bit about why we're starting grain back up. Why is it necessary? But you're probably going to find that it has to do with the theme of this video, which is breeding and kidding. All right, so I'm going to show y'all real quick how I give CDT shots to my goats without any help. Now, albeit, this is a lot easier with some help, someone to help hold, or doing it when they're already getting their regular maintenance while they're up, maybe on like a hoof trimming stand. Luckily for me, a lot of my goats are pretty friendly, and they let me get really close before they figure out I'm trying to do something with them that they might not like. I'm just going to walk up to Pinky here, and I'm going to secure her head right between my calves, and I'm going to use my legs as a stanchion. So I'm just going to grip onto her head, nothing too crazy. I don't want to choke her out. And this puts me in a good position to just bend over. And I like to give my subcutaneous shots of CDT right in the armpit because we show, and it's a lot easier to hide those injection sites there or any unsightly bumps. But I'm just going to tent the skin, poke the needle in just underneath of the skin, and give the injection. That's what we call a subcutaneous injection when it's just below the skin. If this were an intramuscular injection, I would be giving it inside of a muscle. I don't know if you caught any of that. Oh, the joys of filming alone with the goats. And there you have it. We've got our CDT shots for our first 2 does, and I have the next group in about 4 days. I'm going to have to go and give them all a shot. One thing I like to do though, after I've given a CDT shot, I like to just hang out with them to make sure that they're not going to have any adverse reactions. Because I can see Bonnie over here, and I did give Bonnie her injection on her right side. So she's just kind of chilling out over here. She's not doing anything that makes me think she's in distress or not feeling well. But every now and then you will get a goat that will act like it hurts a lot, or they'll flail. And sometimes you do get small ruminants that have a bad reaction to a CDT shot. And that's when we keep antitoxin on hand, and I think it's epinephrine to kind of help them get through that bad reaction. But I've never had that, and epinephrine is something I've definitely been thinking about putting in my kidding kit. Right there, Farrah Barra. Right, Farrah. Pinky. See, Pinky doesn't care. She doesn't hold any grudges that she just got a shot. She's a good goat. You're a good goat. Say hi, Pinky. Say hi. You're a sweet girl. I love you. You're a sweet girl, and I love you. I love my goats so much. I am not ready for this struggle that comes with milking and kidding. My pocketbook was appreciating the rest. And the reason we had to switch to feeding my girls is because we are officially 1 month away from kids. Can you stinking believe it? Can you believe it? The reason we pick up our feed, we start graining again when we're about a month out from kidding, is because it's in these last 45 to 30 days of a goat's gestation that those kids just, like, the growth is explosive in the womb. Like, the kids grow so much, and that amount of growth means that they need lots of nutrients. There's lots of calories involved, which means babies start pulling from mamas, which means my mamas will be set up to have health problems if I don't also increase their nutritional intake so that they can deal with that nutrition and those calories being taken from food to their bellies into the baby. They need to have enough nutrition that even while the baby is growing, they still have enough to sustain. And this is also a good way to make sure that when they come into their milk, that they're going to have enough calories and nutrition ahead of time to birth kids and then feed them afterwards, because that's a lot on the body. Mamas out there, you know, it can be quite taxing going through labor and having a baby, and then to that baby via breast milk or goat's milk in their case. It takes a lot of caloric intake. So I have to make sure that I'm keeping up with them so they can keep up with their babies, because if I can catch them now and get them healthy now and make sure their nutrition is high enough where it needs to be now, I can, and if my nutrition is balanced, I can head off ketosis, toxemia, milk fever. I can head off all those things at the pass if I start now with nutritional values and making sure that I'm giving them what they need. Aside from this, water is changed very often in the wintertime, but it's going to be changed even more often now because clean, fresh water is important for making babies. I've got my trace mineral block out there, but I've also got loose minerals because I just don't believe that trace mineral blocks give them everything that they need. That's just my opinion. Take it for what it is, as an opinion, like 2 cents. So I have some that love the mineral block and don't like my loose minerals, and I have others that love the loose minerals and they don't like the block. So this is just my catch-all to make sure that they're all getting the nutrition they need. But I feed Kalmbach, obviously. I feed Kalmbach to my goats. In addition to these, once they start nursing and about maybe a week or 2 from kidding, I will add black oil sunflower seeds, even though they've gone up so much. I know it was like a year and a half, I was paying like 20 bucks a bag, if that. Now it's like above 30. Surprise, the prices went up. So we feed a textured feed, which is technically, yes, it is a sweet feed of sorts, but it serves its purpose to get them in the feed and to get to the good stuff. We will be phasing out sweet feed this year. I'm trying to figure out nutritionally like where I want to go. So we've also got a milk and meat pellet, which has a high protein content, has lots of calcium, all of the things that we need. I'll probably switch slowly over to Milk Maker, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the textured feed. I might just get rid of the textured feed altogether. But honestly, my girls like it, and far be it for me to tell you how to feed your animals. The nutritional values are there. The nutritional research is there for goats. You can easily do it yourself and make your own decisions for your own herd. This just works for me. And I'm not going to tell you how to feed your animals. I'm just going to show you how I feed mine and how I think it works. And really, the proof is in the pudding when it comes to those milk tests. I can tell what's working and what's not working based on milk tests, based on their protein count, their butterfat count, their overall production in pounds. If it goes up, I can tell that management practices have a lot to do with that. So we're back to graining every day. My pocketbook hurt already having to pay the grain bill, but I should probably get used to it because we will be graining our milkers, only our milkers, and while we're growing out our kid crop for like the first 45 months, like I will creep feed my girls unless I have some that are lagging, and then I make special accounts for them. And then after that, we will go into breeding season where we will flush girls out a little bit to just help them sustain pregnancies, get them in good shape. Breeding also takes a lot of calories. It takes a lot from their bodies to perform such natural processes. So in order to aid them in being successful, so that I can be successful, I feed them, they get their nutrition. Animals, especially dairy goats, meat production, a lot of these animals, if you've got the right genetics in your herd, that's a big if. If you have the right genetics in your herd, you get out of them what you put into them. Now, if you have weak genetics, like you have a slow gainer, or you have a doe that eats every bit of feed that the doe next to her eats, and she gives half the quality, half the quantity, half the weight of milk, then I mean, through milk tests, I can tell you don't need to be my breeding program. I need the most bang for my buck. So those animals that make a lot of milk with what I'm giving them stay. Those animals that don't make a lot of milk with the same amount of feed that I'm giving my high producers, if they don't make the same amount of milk, they're gone. I can't keep all of them, guys. I love my goats, but we're really gearing towards production. We're gearing towards conformation. So there are a lot of things at the end of the year that go into whether I keep does in my barn or I send them off. A lot goes into if I keep that doe and her daughter in my barn, or I send her off and keep her daughter, or if I decide to keep her buckling or send that buck down the road to breed, or I make it a wether because they just don't have the strong enough genetics when it comes to milk in the pail, conformation, show, all of that stuff. It all comes into making good decisions for my program. I know that not all of you have the same program that I do. I don't have the same program that a lot of people that watch my channel do, but I feel like it's good to kind of share the madness that we're going through getting ready for kids. What are you doing? What are you doing? You like the pile of bags? It is quite the pile. Why you like it? Why you like it, Squeaky? Oh yeah, say hello to the people. So now we have Mount Bagdom. Oh goodness. That's not a bad thing. These are not a bad thing to have because we're getting ready to come up on kidding season. And these actually make like a great quick grab bag if like I need to remove afterbirth or other things. If, you know, kidding goes sideways, to just quickly scoop everything up, put it in here, and put it either on the compost pile or bury it or throw it away. Whatever we so decide to do with it. I really don't like to put it very much in my compost pile around springtime because coyotes have pups here around that time and they get really bold and they come in anyway. So I don't really need to be drawing them in with any type of afterbirth. So usually we do just throw it away. But I got all my feed in for the season. And the first ones that are going to be starting us off are going to be Bonnie, who actually, she's this little dot right here. That sweet little dot walking up. And then we've got Pinky, wide load, chilling out over there. Those are going to be our first two does that kick us off. I'm going to say that Pinky's going to beat Bonnie because she's like a 4th, 5th, or 6th time freshener, and this is Bonnie's first. And in my experience, first time fresheners seem like they hold out a little bit longer. I don't know if it's because like their bodies are trying to figure it out, but anywho. All right, y'all, that's how we're getting ready for our 2023 kidding season. It's going to be here before we know it, and I cannot wait to bring y'all along on it because it's always a roller coaster. Every kidding season is different. I learn something every single year, and a lot of times we change our management practices based off of how that kidding season went. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today here on Mulberry Ranch Farm. Remember to leave us a like, drop us a comment, and subscribe. But until next time, y'all, we hope that you are all staying safe out there and being kind to one another. We will catch you all in the next one. God bless you. Bye, y'all.